some point in my life, I started thinking maybe I was different. My friends all started talking about crushes they had on boys. They talked about how cute they were and hot they were, and I didn't understand what they were looking at. And somewhere around about high school, I started thinking, well, maybe I'm attracted to girls because I'm not attracted to boys. And so I looked at that, but I really didn't feel anything for girls either. And I told my parents I was never getting married because I wasn't interested. I actually talked about becoming a Mormon nun because then I didn't have to be attached to a boy, and I was going to serve mission after mission after mission after mission. But then I got my patriarchal blessing, and I went to Young Women's, and they told me that to progress, my job was to get married and to make babies. So at 19, I got married, and I would say that my wedding night was probably the worst night of my life. Besides the fact that I wasn't interested, my body didn't respond the way most people's bodies responded, and it was painful, and he was violent because he was so excited. He'd been waiting for this his whole life, to get married and have sex, and that's what was coming. And it was pretty darn awful. And I spent that night sobbing in the shower, and then every night for 2 years, I felt like I was being raped. I felt like I was just something to be used. And I'd been taught that women don't really like sex. It's what you do to make men happy, and all these gender roles and all these things that I'd been taught, that I thought I was like everybody else. I thought that everyone else felt like I did. So I thought that his violent sexual behavior was completely normal. I thought that that's what being married and having sex and intimate relationships were like. And luckily for me, he also had a lot of other issues that gave me an excuse to divorce him after 2 years. So I left, I got divorced, but still I knew I was supposed to be married. So I started dating another man, and he was a sweetheart, and we had a blast together. And we dated for 2 years, and we went on camping trips, and we stayed in the same hotel room and slept in the same bed together, and never once was there a morality slip-up. Never once did we touch each other in the wrong way. There was no petting, no necking, no sexual contact. And I thought that meant we were deeply in love, because in Mormonism, you're taught that not having sex before you're married is respect. So equate my non-desire for sex with that equaled respect. So we got married, and still again, nothing changed for me. He was sweet and respectful and was not violent like my first husband, but still it was a chore. And for the next several years, it was a chore that I made myself do, and he would ask me if I liked it, and I'd say, well, sure. I mean, this is what it feels like, right? And he was unhappy in our relationship. And I started going to therapy, and I started talking about what happened in my first marriage, and was diagnosed with PTSD from being raped every day. And I started facing kind of how maybe I was different, or maybe I wasn't, or maybe he was messed up, and maybe I'm broken and I just need to fix me. I just need to make myself like it, and I just need to, if I go to therapy enough and if I work hard enough, I will be like everybody else. And then one day, it was like I was actually walking through a church parking lot with a friend, and we were actually talking about some of the issues that homosexual people face, and that they, in the afterlife, they'll be made perfect and they'll be made straight. And I looked at my friend and I was like, why would they want that? They're perfect and they're beautiful just as they are. And then I started to cry, because I'm perfect and I'm beautiful just the way I am. And just because I'm not like everybody else, it doesn't mean that I need to change anything. And and facing, well, what does that mean with Mormonism? What does that mean with all that I've been taught about gender roles, and all that I've been taught about what a woman is and what a family is? And I had to then face that and decide what I wanted for me. And I decided that I do want a romantic relationship, and that I want to share my life with someone. I don't want to have sex. I don't need that. And it turns out there are actually other people who want close, intimate relationships who don't feel the need for sex, and it's okay. And I have a great friendship with my roommate, partner, buddy, whatever he is, that is awesome. And we go fishing and we ride horses and we talk about everything. And we sit next to each other and I feel so safe and relaxed and happy. And he is not asexual. But so I don't know what will happen in the future, but he says that what we have right now is so awesome. He wouldn't trade it for anything. And it's so nice to love and accept me, to not have to think about what I need to change, to not try to make myself fit in a box I never fit in. And with Mormonism, so often they give these gender roles, they give these ideas of what we're supposed to be, and those of us that don't quite fit walk around feeling sad and depressed and suicidal and horrible. And it's just not true. There's so much more variety than just this box or that box. And I'm not sure what else to say. So.
No, that's fine. Now just think sort of like a 20-second, so now, today, I feel, or I am, or, you know, so you told us about your partner, but just like sort of how you feel to be in your skin today.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
It's hard to describe what it's like now because I have to tell you how horrible it was, that I thought about dying and I thought about hurting all the time, and today I don't. Today, life is so beautiful. I look around and I see so much beauty, and I'm so excited to be alive. I am so excited for the next year of my life and 20 years of my life and maybe even 40 years of my life. And I look forward to living, and that feels awesome. And anybody out there who wonders if life is worth living, it is. Just find you. You matter, and you are perfect the way you are.